Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the head apostles of the great millstone that have taught me what I know, and including the bishops on down, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Brakatham, to the 144,000, and including the 1/3 as well that do be following. And it's your brother Laban at you with another video in regards to the MOTB prophecy, the inevitable, which is bound to come. And, I just want to play a little of this video from, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Lena Petrova. I believe she's a Russian woman. And she's getting into the CBDC news. And this individual here, he's going to say what he's going to say in regards to maybe one day passing some form of legislation to authorize the digital dollar. All right, which all of these major nations around the world are getting hip to that right now, beginning with these poorer nations. Okay, that's where it's all going. Everything's going digital. Everything's going technological so that you can be a part of the grid. And that's where it's all going. So without further ado, let me play some more. Let me play some of this video.
Or anything like that, that Congress consider legislation to authorize a digital dollar. And it would take legislation by Congress signed by the president to give us the ability to do what we think of as a CBDC, which is retail CBDC with the public of it. So we're just a long way from that.
And just to mention as well, right here is Swift, which, I mean, my take on what he just said, I mean, I don't really think they're a long way of that. It's just that, when he says that, and this is just my take, because a lot of these guys are not willing to move forward with this technology. They really don't have a choice, and they don't really want to do it, so they're dragging their feet. So this is why, maybe that's why he said what he said, that it's going to take them some time to get this thing going. But it don't gotta take them a long period of time, because the technology is already being used right now as it stands. We all have contactless payment cards that we use on a day-to-day basis. You got some people, they have you have people that have a wristband, which with that wristband you can pay for things without even having to take your card out. All right, so we're already using the biometrical setting, and all they got to do is come with that little bitty chip and just tell the world or the Western Hemisphere that this is something that everybody's going to have to take. All right. And then even including the central bank digital currencies, they can get this down in no time. All right. It's just a matter of how quick they can do it rather than dragging their feet, because they don't got no time left for this. All right. So what I'm going to do is I want to read this too. This is from the Reuters.com, which is a Rothschild owned news station. And this is the company by the name of Swift. This reads, planning launch of new central bank digital currency platform, 12 to 24 months. Global Bank's messaging network Swift is planning a new platform in the next 1 to 2 years to connect the wave of central bank digital currencies now in development to the existing finance system, it has told Reuters. The move, which would be one of the most significant yet for the nascent, if I'm correct in pronouncing that, CBDC ecosystem, given Swift's key role in global banking, is likely to be fine-tuned to when the first major one are launched. Around 90% of the world central banks are now exploring digital versions of their currencies. Most don't want to be left behind by Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but are grappling with technological complexities. Swift's head of innovation, Nick Carrigan said its latest trial, which took 6 months and involved a 38-member group of central banks, commercial banks, and settlement platforms, had been one of the largest global collaborations on the CBDCs and tokenized assets to date. It focuses on ensuring different countries' CBDCs can all be used together, even if built on different underlying technologies or protocols, and thereby reducing payment system fragmentation risks. And of course, it's going to be able to work globally. All right, because everybody's going to be using the same similar systems, so it can work. And we can't even forget the foundation of it, the digital ID setting. And that digital ID setting is going to connect you to your government, because your ID and everything about you is going to be on that implantable device, connecting you with the grid. And just like I said earlier before, this is where it's all going. And they need to move fast because people are waking up. There's a lot of phenomena that we're seeing in the sky. And, all indications are pointing towards the ending of this civilization. All right. This is just what's currently going on right now. Okay, you have signs below and above the elite that are showing them that they got to get the ball rolling. Okay, they got to hurry up. So what I also want to read is this as well, because you have, why is it even over here? Didn't I just click this? Excuse me. Yeah, this is QZ.com. And I know I know I was already on his site already. I don't even know why the computer had it so that I was out of it. I was already on the site. But anyway, this reads, Elon Musk's Neuralink. So now we're dealing with the brain chip side of things. Elon Musk's Neuralink showed off its first human patient. Here are 6 brain chip rivals. While the most well-known, Neuralink is not the only company working on brain chips. And before I go further, I just want to read a scripture in the book of Revelations 13 and verse 14. And this reads, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. What is the beast? The revival version of the Roman system that we are now under currently, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And the image is basically the implant, which is going to make you to be identified with the system. Okay, let me correct myself. I just have it in mind now. Is the New World Order system. That is the image of the beast. So the implantable device is going to have you identify with the New World Order system, the revival, as what they're trying to do, the fourth revival, when there is no fourth revival, period. This is the last one, okay? And that's what the image of the beast is. And the beast is referring to the system that we're under, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Why? Because the ancient Roman Empire came down, and Jake, when you go into the history of the Middle Ages, the beginning of the Middle Ages, which was known as the period of time when our people took over Rome, and it was known as the Holy Roman Empire. And then as we fast forward from 1,000 years, this is when you had the Renaissance period. All right, so this system came back again during the time of the Renaissance period, which the term Renaissance means the rebirth of something, which was the system, the Roman system. Okay, so there you have it. Those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Now, the miracle is that you have implantable devices for brain of many that are paraplegic, that can play video games, that can use the computer or use even the website that Elon Musk is in charge of, which is Twitter X and the likes. I've seen so many different, cases of people even people that were limbless too. There's a fella down here in the UK, and he has no limbs. He's limbless. He has no limbs on his legs, neither his arm. But he's able to get around and drive his car because he has an implant that allows him to do what everybody else can do, despite the fact he had no limbs. All right. And you had this individual too in the States. I think he might be of so-called Latino descent. And this guy, he had some issue. I think he might have had been paralyzed. And he was able to control the NASCAR while he was driving on the oval track of it. All right. Just by thinking, move right, move left. So the technology is already here. Okay. And they're becoming more forthcoming with this, especially when it concerns this company here, Neuralink, which is the head company, because no one's really paying attention to these other companies that are doing the same thing. All right. But what we're going to do is here through the Spirit, we're going to read all of this, and we're going to continue on and see what edification we can bring out of this, because this is and prophecy, the prophecy of the implantable device is sure to come. And you have Israelite camps out there that are not bringing this out, and they need to bring this out. All right. It's very clear that this is indeed the mark of the you-know-what coming into fruition. And IUIC, all of these various camps, they need to be speaking on this. Otherwise, the Lord is going to basically destroy them for not giving warning from him. Okay. Let me read this. Elon Musk's Neuralink dazzled supporters this week when it revealed the first human patient to be implanted with its first product. In a video live stream of Purcell moving a mouse and playing a computer chess through a brain implant. That's the miracle. Nolan Arba, 29, is the first person implanted with the Neuralink's telepathy, a so-called brain-computer interface that looks to help patients with severe paralysis control external technology, like a laptop or a smartphone, using only neural signals. Arba said he was released from the hospital the day after the procedure and has since been able to do things he wasn't previously able to, including playing online chess and video game Civilization 6. It's not perfect. I would say that we have run into some issues, Arba said during a live stream on X, Musk's social media site. I don't want people to think that this is the end of the journey and there's still a lot of work to be done, but it has already changed my life. Musk later announced that Neuralink would also work on Blind Sight, a product he said could cure blindness by beaming direct vision to the brain. And they could actually do this because the spiritual demon Shaitan, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiel Shah, is gonna give them the green light to do this. Because the deal for the devil here is to deceive the majority of the population, so that the majority of the population can be wooed and without no hesitancy, without even thinking, that they can take this implantable device. I mean, come on, what's wrong with it? It cures blindness, for crying out loud. It cures paralysis. I mean, come on, these are major health concerns. So hell, we can route on out with this and take. All right. Revelations 13 and 14 again. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, the sight of the system. Right? So again, they'll be able to do this if the Most High allows it to be done, because all things are allowed, as we know, by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, whether right or left hand side. He added in another post that blind sight has been tested and is working on monkeys, further claiming that no monkeys has died or been seriously injured by Neuralink's device. More than 1,000 animals were killed in the course of the startup's rush trial, which led to accusations of grotesque animal abuse and a lawsuit from a physician group. While Musk's Neuralink is by far the most well-known BCI startup, it's by no means the only one out there, and definitely not the first. Scientists have been studying BCI technology for decades. And just to include, you even have Porsche too. Porsche is delving into this business as well in regards to brain chipping. All right. And dozens of people have been implanted with brain chips. Here are 6 of Neuralink brain chips rivals. So here we have it over here. We have Precision Neuroscience. They have their one over here. All right. And then you have there's another one too. Let me go to the next slide. You got BlackRock. Of course, they're gonna get into this business, right? So they got their ones over there. That's their interface here. And then let's move on forward. Let's go to the next slide. You got Synchron. Yeah, I've heard of Synchron. So you got theirs over there. I mean, just by the side of that don't even look right. I mean, come on. Why would you want to put something like that inside your body? Come on. You could look at that right there, man. I mean, if your senses is working well, you can sense that this don't look right. This is got suspect written all over it, man. I mean, the only way that you wouldn't mind putting this tech inside of your body is the fact that you would have to have no kind of sense. You would have to be not conscious to what this devil is up into doing, man. That's the only way. You would have to have no conscious, no awareness to what this devil is trying to do. All right. And as well as just to include overall, the spirit cannot be working with you if you don't think that this is suspect. So she's got some electrodes stuck in her head and she's able to sing. I think she's a paraplegic. Again, that don't even look right. I don't want nothing to do with this shit. All right. Yeah, so I think that's it right there, man. So Lucky, I think that's it right there. Yeah, so I mean, E-sau can miss me with all of this nonsense, man. Why it's stuck to your head? I mean, come on. You got so you mean to tell me you're gonna be walking around having a couple of chips, one on the right hand, one on the left hand, one in the back of your ass somewhere, and you're gonna have a wire stuck to your head? If you mean to tell me that that's living, I don't want to live. Like I said, this devil can miss me with all of this shit. All right. I don't want nothing to do with it. If it ain't natural, like I said, if it ain't of the Heavenly Father, I don't want nothing to do with this. And I do not, under any circumstances, want anything to do with this this new world order system that this devil is concocting. I don't want nothing to do with it. If this is the way one is going to have to live, well, you're going to be stuck to wires and you're going to be fucking chipped, excuse my language, and that's going to be the base of one's life. I tell you this for free. The guillotine don't sound so bad after all. Anyway, let's read on with this. Oh, before I go further, let me read this. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressive by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heap unto him all people. And he wants to do this by this technology. Okay? Because they're not satisfied with what they already have. They already have the earth's resources by the abundance load. They have control of everything. They have control over the souls of men. I mean, what more do these devils want? But just like I said before, these devils are going to be willing to go to hell just so that they can get way more than what the Lord has already blessed them with already on the left-hand side. And by them going through the depths of hell to get way more power than what they already have, they might wind up staying in that bad boy. They might wind up staying in hell and never to come back in it And that's the truth, because they're going into slavery next. I'm talking about these so-called JOOs. I'm talking about the small hatters. I'm talking about these suit, tie wearing, turkey neck ass niggas that's trying to set this world up so that they can have more control. I'm talking about them. All right. I'm not talking about, and I mean, I have to include these regular so-called white people too, that actually, did profit, did become somewhat successful in the society. I have to include them too, but primarily the top elites. They're going right into slavery. Okay. And that's probably the reason why they're moving forward with this technology and they're stepping back. Let me say it differently. They're dragging their feet. They're forthcoming, and then they drag their feet again. Like, I found out that King Charles III, he's going to be celebrating some damn Easter in the church somewhere. Or I think he might have said he ain't going to church. When in all reality, people like him shouldn't be celebrating anything. They need to get this new world order system going rather than celebrating anything. They ain't shit to celebrate. Okay? I'm in the spirit, man. I just want these devils to hurry this shit up. Sometimes you get like that where you lose patience, I know the scripture says patience possess your souls, but sometimes you just get like impatient. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, because when you read the scripture over here in the book of 2 Peter 3, verse 12, right? This reads, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blamelessness. And that's just the thing that we all have to do. But just to make the point, this is exactly what we ought to be looking for and hastening for. Because if you want to stay here, if you don't feel a sense of urgency to want to leave this society, right, in the way that Yahweh Shah is going to do that for us, then something's wrong with you. You're not in the truth. The truth be told, if you're a real man of the Lord, you're going to want to get the hell out of here. Things have gone way too far. People done lost their minds. The air is becoming more toxic. And I just found out, man, I just watched the brother's lesson, the brother Yaramya, and he was basically talking about down here in the UK, especially down here in London, man, the water is going to be more contaminated with shit. And, that right there just got me in a fed up state of mind right now. It's got me feeling like, Lord, when are you going to come get us? Knowing that we have to bathe with this water, knowing that we have to drink this water, and we have to wash dishes with this water. That's just a very sad reality, man, that we're going to have to deal with. Knowing damn well that we're going to have to use this dirty ass water. And I mean, we've been using this water for ages, man. But it's like, man, how long do we got to deal with this? I mean, I know that we've sinned, Lord. I know that we've even blew a smoke up your nose, as that's written. And this is something that we have to deal with. But I mean, goddamn. I feel as though, man, it's safe to say that we got to be hastening for the coming of the day of the Lord. And just like I said, if you feel as though that this society is okay to deal with and you don't see nothing wrong with it, then you may not be of the elect. Because truly the elect, they're going to be looking to get the fuck out of here. All right? Let me read this again. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And just as well as it reads in the book of Daniel's chapter 12, right, that the time is going to come since there was a nation, and even into that same time will there be salvation, right? If I'm saying it correctly. It's to the point where it really doesn't matter how devastational, how bad it's going to get out here. The only thing that matters is that there needs to be a change. There needs to be a divine change. Okay, this devil needs to come out of power, and however the Lord does it, we're with it. All right. And you know, if we're of the elect, that's a beautiful thing. The ones of us that don't make it, that's all right. But this society needs to come to an end. All right. I will go as far as saying we're in a state of emergency. So Jacob's trouble, however it's gonna come, us being tried, us being persecuted. I feel as though, man, the persecution is something I'd rather deal with than to continue on being under this devil, knowing that our water is going to be more contaminable with shit. That's scary to me, man. That's more scary to me than Jacob's trouble, if I'm being honest with you. Okay, and knowing that the air is going to become more toxic, knowing that people are going to be more demonic, and you got to watch your ass every step of the way. Okay, and then you got to deal with your financial instabilities. It's a whole lot that you got to watch over your back for. You're just constantly worrying. This is the world this is the kind of lifestyle we're living in. We're living in a lifestyle that consists of worrying. And that does something to the flesh, man. So, I would say the times that we're in right now is more scarier than it would be if Jacob's trouble came. Because at least if Jacob's trouble comes, damn sure it's the fucking end of this bitch. All right. You're going to know right there in that point, it's the fucking end of this shit. Okay. And then at the same time, right around that time, there lies the transition that we are earnestly looking for. I'm just saying, that's just me. All right. Let me read on some more. Matthew 24. I'll tell you what, let me read some more in Revelations 13 and I'll get to that. So it also reads, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Just like what they do, these central bankers, they knock out these prime ministers that don't play the game. So in like manner, the people, if the people don't correspond with the new world order ways, they're going to seek to take them out. And you already know that the prophets are going to be persecuted to be taken out. As I'm going to now read in this over here, as it reads in the book of Revelation chapter 2 and 10. Let me even read that out. And then I'll get that. Let's get Revelations 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. And be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Because we know that great insurrection is coming according to the Apocrypha, just to include. So now that I've read this, what I'll do is I'm going to back up and we're going to read. Actually, now I can read this now. Matthew 24 and verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Right. And this is going to be the time which is bound to come, where the men of the Lord are going to be proven to see if that is so, that they are the men of the Lord. Now, you know how the devil goes down. We know how the devil is when it comes to the media and these things, how they use the media to make us look, or how they're going to make us look in the time to come as the T word. And that's going to get people rattled behind their government, and so that they're going to believe that this is what we are. They have the footage, they have the data to use during the opportune time to plagiarize this narrative that, the Hebrew Israelites are the most dangerous group to be watched out for. And they're no difference than the Muslims because they got the beds on and, and this and that and the third. And so there you have it. It's like the elder apostles first got that experience because they were in New York, as well as they are still to this very moment in time, back during the World Trade Center when it collapsed. And they got, again, the first-hand experience, what it meant to have been lied to, and what it meant to have been considered one of those that were responsible for the taking down of the World Trade Center, which we all know what that was about. And we all know by now that that was basically a psychological operation at best. I mean, there's all kind of evidence on that. Okay, so what's going to come is in like manner. Something's going to be had. There's going to be another psychological operation, or there could very be a multitude of them at the same time. And one of them, they're going to place the blame on us in regards to that particular psychological operation. We'll have to wait and see. Just like how Nero did during I think he was during the time of the 7th decade AD. And, he pulled a stunt and blamed it on the Christians and came down on the Christians later on down the pike. However they dealt with the Christians at the time. And so, this is the revival version of Rome. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be the same old shit that they're going to pull. Okay. And I tell you the truth, man. Those that know me well and can hear the sound of my voice, I'm actually fed up, man. But this is just what it's all about, man. It's all about looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord. The Most High needs to set fire on this world to restart the planet Earth the way it's supposed to be. Because things are getting out of hand. Things haven't gotten out of hand. Excuse me. Things are not getting out of hand. It's already out of hand. And all I see is foolishness at best out here. All right. That's all I could basically say. And somehow, some way, it has to be put to an end. It has to be. As the Apostles of Har coined the year 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, I'm hoping that this is going to be the year of Jacob's trouble. And if not, Lord willing, next year. But I'm morally expecting something to happen this year, though. So yeah, man, that's all I have to say with this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And without further ado, let me finish it off with verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And it's going to get to that point where it's going to be mandatory. It's going to be something that you're going to have no choice but to get into. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to eat. You are not going to be able to partake on anything that society provides, as well as the digital ID. All you got to do is research the Bill and Melinda Gates website, and they will tell you how they're going to set up their digital ID system. Okay, and it plays right along with Revelations 13 and 16. And I mean, we have the evidence to show that the central bank digital currencies is on the come up on a global scale. And we can also see that they're setting up a platform for the CBDCs. All right. And every nation, all of these major countries around the world are adapting this. And even down there in India, okay, among the Melamites, they're using Bill Gates' digital ID system as well. So they got this thing going, man. They got this thing going, and it's already here. It's not a matter of if or maybe, it's a matter of when now. And just like I said, these elites, these devils, have no choice but to get the ball rolling. Otherwise, things are just going to be more difficult for them. Shalom.